Alright, during TennoCon, DE announced that they will have crossplay and cross-save available for WarFrame soon. There are already a few games that have crossplay, two of which are Genshin Impact and Destiny 2. So the ball is effectively in DE's court to make sure their crossplay and cross-save experience is up to level with these games' crossplay experiences. So let's have a look at what we should set our expectations to in terms of account setup, co-op gameplay experience, and the way monetization works. Let's start off with account setup. In both Genshin Impact and Destiny 2, the inclusion of cross-save meant that you have to have a singular umbrella account to cover all the platforms that you want to play on. In Genshin, that account is simply the email address that you use to log in and your UID, which of course is your user ID, the number on the bottom right hand corner of the screen. With Destiny though, we actually use a Bungie ID, and that Bungie ID can be found in your actual profile when you click on a character or a player's card. That way we can see what that actual name is. What I think we can therefore expect is a singular WarFrame ID. It could be a UID, it could be a DA ID, I don't know what's going to be called, but either way it's going to be a singular ID with the likelihood that it's going to have the form of a name and then a code at the back. This would actually make it look similar to the Bungie ID, but also similar to a Battle.net ID. For example, my Battle.net account is Karigari #1830. That number is very important because it basically means you can have accounts with the exact same name. For example, there is now an account called Category 1937 or something like that, but because the number code is different, that will separate those accounts from each other. So if you happen to see another category running around as Inaros, make sure to check that they are not an imposter category by looking at their number code. When Genshin implemented cross-save, there was a stipulation that if you already had a PC and a console account under the same email, that you would have to delete one of those accounts so you could migrate the other onto that email address. It turned out that I had an account attached to my email before cross-save from PC, so I had to get rid of it. I don't quite remember having to do this though when Bungie first implemented cross-save into Destiny 2. We probably won't have to worry about that, I think. I suspect that MiHoYo just had some random ass crazy ass system going on in place in their back end that required us to actually have to do that, whereas Bungie and hopefully DE can actually figure out a way to just do it without having to go through that entire rigmarole. Okay, let's have a look at the crossplay gameplay experience. The ultimate goal is to make crossplay so seamless that you don't register that there's even a chance that other players are on a different platform to you. Now, in my experience of crossplay in Genshin, the only issue that really made it seem like there were players on different platforms was load times. For example, when I was playing on PS4 and I would go up against Tartaglia, who is of course a boss, as I'm still loading into that particular boss fight, my allies have already started the fight because they loaded in faster on PC. As far as I can tell though, that doesn't seem to be the case with Destiny 2. When I was playing on PS4 and my fellow stream mod Sandwich was playing on PC, we both effectively loaded into strikes simultaneously. Now, it's entirely possible that on Sandwich's side on PC he may have noticed something different, because loading into strikes when we're both on PC seems to be really fast, whereas loading into strikes on PS4 does take a little bit longer. I would therefore expect the WarFrame loading experience to hopefully be similar to Destiny 2, as I feel like that is just more seamless than what Genshin has. So yes, there may be a difference in load times on PC if you happen to have players on PS4, but as long as it's not noticeably longer or terribly longer, I think it's going to be a much better experience than when you have people still loading in. That being said though, we already are used to that in WarFrame when you have people who are on not as strong PCs who are loading into the mission still. For example, when you have someone in particular who is running integrated graphics and is on a particularly bad internet connection who is loading in as part of a railjack mission. Yeah, I guess we're used to that, but I would still rather that we have a Destiny 2 type experience as opposed to a Genshin experience. However, that really ties us to the biggest concern that WarFrame crossplay may actually encounter, and that is the difference between peer-to-peer and server memes. So what do I mean by that? As far as I know, both Genshin and Destiny's network infrastructure involves servers, especially Destiny, because there's a lot of open world shenanigans going on there, and yes, you may be instanced into different areas of the open world, but you're definitely going into a network infrastructure, a server infrastructure, as opposed to WarFrame's peer-to-peer. See, that's why in Warframe, if your host has a horrendous connection, everyone suffers. We already hate it when host migration happens. I feel like it's going to happen even more when cross-save and crossplay happens. Especially if you are cross-playing with someone and they're somehow hosting on a Switch outside on a mobile network, or they're in a train. A lot of people have already raised that concern. It's going to end up being a similar experience to someone who is hosting on a shoddy connection, but if anything, that's still more of a grand indictment on the fact that Warframe is still using peer-to-peer servers, i.e. not actually real servers. We keep saying this as players and as content creators, but it still hasn't happened yet. DE needs to invest in more actual servers for the game. And I feel like this is going to be even more important when crossplay and cross-save happens. We already have some servers for places like Cetus, Fortuna, the Necrolisk, and Relays. So it's pretty simple, we just need more of them. Alright, let's finally look at monetization and how that works. So there's a pretty significant running theme between Genshin and Destiny in terms of how purchasing currency works. It's very much platform specific. Now in Destiny 2, you can purchase silver on PC, but you cannot access that silver on PS4, and vice versa. I currently have some silver sitting on PS4, which I simply cannot access on PC. Meanwhile, on Genshin, I cannot even purchase nor access Genesis Crystals on PC because my account was originally a PS4 account. I have to go through my PS4 if I ever want to do anything like that, so it does make things a lot more tricky. Luckily I do have things like remote play, but if my PS4 happens to have turned off, that basically means I can't purchase any Genesis Crystals for the foreseeable future. That being said though, once I convert those Genesis Crystals into Primogems, they can be used on both PC and PS4. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I personally probably won't bother gaming on multiple platforms when crossplay and cross-save comes out for Warframe, but I feel like people who want to do that, i.e. play the game on PC at home and then use their Switch if they have to be outside on holiday or something like that, they may want DE to take the Destiny approach in purchasing plat. That's if they even want to purchase plat when they're outside. So that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. What are you expecting for crossplay and cross-save in Warframe when it comes out? Let me know in the comments. I know for a fact that this is already going to be a really good thing, especially for content creators and streamers, like myself who happen to have a pretty significant chunk of my audience on console. That's going to be fantastic when we can finally play together and I can help you guys with whatever you need. For example, Railjack, and we don't have to worry about the fact that you're on PS4 and therefore I can't help you at all. But either way, I think the blueprint exists for a successful crossplay and cross-save infrastructure for the game that already exists in the form of what we have in Genshin and Destiny 2. So hopefully DE can emulate, potentially make it better, but I don't know how they would make it better. Feel free to let me know what you would think about that in the comments below. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more Warframe content, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye!